SABC, host broadcaster of the G20 South Africa 2025.
Welcome back. You're watching SABC News. It's great to be in your company with about a day to go before the G20 Leaders Summit gets underway. Lots of moving parts to the story, lots of logistical preparation, a lot of the infrastructure of government and diplomacy, as well as, just how you receive guests who are arriving at that level of head of state and head of government. Let's go on over to Mbalenthe Mthethwa, who is part of the team that we've deployed across the country and across Gauteng, tracking the movement and the logistics that will be involved. I understand, Mbalenthe, that you'll be joined by the Gauteng MEC for Roads and Transport.
Yes, indeed, and you are correct. We did crisscross the length and breadth of Gauteng, really just looking at the traffic volumes from as early as 6 a.m. This morning, and it seemed quite normal. But what we did notice is that there was a high police visibility, which even exists to right now as we speak. We also went on the Gautrain, where we were looking to see if passengers or commuters were trying to find alternative modes of transport. And we did find that Gautrain seems to be the choice of preference by delegates coming in from the airport, and that Gautrain had actually seen an uptick in the number of passengers using the Gautrain between the airport as well as Sandton. And as you would know, that most of the delegates could potentially be staying there. What we also saw is that there was a high police visibility even outside of various hotels, and it's not just passenger vehicles belonging to JMPD or the SABC, but we also had police nyalas stationed outside of these hotels. But right now we are actually just standing outside of a room where we understand that the provincial government will be meeting with the delegation from the UK after they had received a letter that was penned to them by the UK delegation to get information, well, rather for information sharing purposes on the running and the maintenance of the Gautrain service. And I'm joined by the MEC, who's going to give us more information. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us. Talk to us about this very secret operation that is taking place.
And I don't know how you got here. Thank you very much, Mbali, and good afternoon to your SABC viewers and everybody in South Africa and everybody in the world that is watching us. We are hosting, as a result of a request from the UK government to come in as part of the Leaders Summit, the G20 Summit. One of the projects they wanted to visit is the Gautrain. That's why you see us at the depot, not normally at our usual spot, the Gautrain offices, because we are here. They are visiting the depot. It's just an informal session of information sharing between two governments and how we did it. I think this is one of the critical investments that the Gauteng provincial government has really done on behalf of people of Gauteng. Very soon we will be owning the asset itself in March 2026, and according to experts, it's around a 52 billion assets that we are inheriting as this cohort. So we are happy that the world is also interested in such a project, infrastructure projects. I think a lot of leaders will be visiting some of our good infrastructure projects that they want to learn from. And we are very excited as Gauteng. The Premier and the Prime Minister will be arriving soon.
Okay. So the Prime Minister for the UK is here, as you are confirming. Is that the breaking news for this hour?
The letter was from his office, so we are expecting a delegation from that office. It's not a breaking news. We are waiting to see who exactly is coming.
Oh, okay. So you cannot confirm if the Prime Minister will be arriving himself. However, there is a delegation from the Office of the Prime Minister that will meet with the Premier and yourself on this information sharing process. It's quite interesting that before the creation, or rather the construction of the Gautrain, South Africa or Gauteng went to the UK to learn from them, and today they're coming back to learn from you. Do you think you've got anything that is of value that you can share with them?
There's a lot to share. By the way, one of the things that we want to do is to assert ourselves as a builder of speed train in Africa. First, within the country, you have seen us in talks with the Limpopo government, in talks with PRASA and the minister. So that's what we are trying to do, to just move away from just being a management agency, but to build trains. So those are the things we've been moving around the world, learning good lessons. And now we are happy that UK has shown interest to learn from us as Gautrain in South Africa and in the continent. The letter is from the Prime Minister's office to us as the Gauteng provincial government, and we are going to be meeting with them to share information and do a walkabout in our depot here.
Okay. Now, when you say that next year, as of next year, Gauteng will then become the owners of the Gautrain, talk to us about the ownership model of the Gautrain and what this change is going to mean for ordinary South Africans.
Remember when it started, it was we went into a concessionaire to build, operate, and now the asset is being transferred to us March 2026. This is about 52 billion asset. We have started a new process for a new concessionaire, and because now we're no longer building, it's about operations and management, maintenance of the system itself. So we are getting into a new phase of Gautrain, and that's why we want to expand ourselves as Gautrain, to say we trialed ourselves because we never had a speed train. We are the only agency in the country that has a mandate can have the mandate of speed trains. And that's why we want to expand further. Surely in our talks today with the UK is to share ideas. It's informal talks. It's not just that formal. We are part of their interests as they are here for the G20 Summit.
Now, there's always been criticism that when government takes over something, the standards obviously fall apart, maintenance or something like that. And today we had a conversation with the spokesperson for Gautrain, who spoke about the safety and how they've managed to keep the running and operations of the Gautrain in mint condition. Do you believe that once it's been handed over, you'll be able to do the same?
It's not being handed over. We're inheriting. We've been managing it as the Gauteng provincial government. And that's one thing that people miss, that they think Gautrain is an independent entity. Gautrain is an entity of Gauteng provincial government under the Gauteng Department of Roads and Transport. And we've proven ourselves through the partnership and through the concessionaire that we can manage projects like that. And that's why now we're entering the second phase to say, how do we expand it, and what are the lessons learned from the previous concessionaire period? What are the things that we need to change to the benefit of South Africans? And one of the critical things for G20 is we're all looking forward to the spin-offs, the economic spin-offs of this summit, the benefits to us as ordinary citizens of South Africa. And once a government like UK has an interest on what you have done, it means for real we will attract investors into our country, into our province, and into the continent. So that's a great thing for us. We're a bit excited that perhaps from here moving on, there'll be a turnaround on our economic growth, and we are looking forward to that.
Thank you so much. There you have it. That is the MEC for Roads, Gauteng Roads and Transport, just communicating with us about the meeting that will be taking place. This meeting stems from a letter that was written by the Prime Minister from the UK, and a delegation from the UK will be meeting with the Gauteng provincial government to discuss really how they can both share information and improve on the underground railway system that we have in South Africa called the Gautrain, and they also have a very distinguished and well-established underground railway in the UK. For now, it is back to you in studio.
Mbalenthe, thank you for that. That's what it's about in part. Opportunities for partnership, for development, as well as investment really are some of the conversations. As Mbalenthe says there, those conversations happening between the UK and the Gautrain, and also perhaps drawing lessons from how the UK system, rail system, has evolved over many, many years, including the London Tube, which is known all over the world for its operations. But we'll leave that there for now. Mbalenthe Mthethwa is part of the team that we've deployed across the country here on SABC News that is tracking the logistics, in the main the logistics that have to do with leaders arriving in the country for the G20 Leaders Summit, as well as navigating their way to the Nasrec Expo Center